Let's get weird, buddy. Let's get weird.
Guys, where are we?
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. Enjoy your stay.
Here come the heroes to save the world from destruction. They are X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun. And we are back talking Wolverine comics. We just got started again talking comics with Predator versus Wolverine. And now we're going to be starting a second series for Wolverine Deep Cut. Another Claremont book from last year that I meant to cover on the channel. I read the first issue and then for some reason just collected the others and things happened. I didn't get to this book to talk about it last year, but I don't care. See, Wolverine's 50 this year. I'll be 50. So fuck it. We're doing I need an excuse to talk about Wolverine comic books. But yeah, Deep Cut was a book that I really was a little confused about at first, especially when you don't read any of the other issues forever. I still, even as we speak, I've only read the first issue. I don't know how I'm going to talk about the second issue. I kind of want to do it like that. So I remember, though, the first time I read #1 of Deep Cut, I was a little like, what are we doing here? I was a little, I don't know. It felt to me a little like a book where it's just kind of recapping things from the past. And I should have known better. And that's what I get for making like that first judgment call on the book. After I read it a second time, I felt way different. I was like, what the hell was I thinking? But this is Claremont's second series from last year. He did Wolverine Madripoor Nights, which we did cover on the channel, every issue of that. Same artist, Edgar Salazar. I'm trying to remember if the Carlos Lopez was the color artist on that as well, but he's on this. We've got VC's Travis Lanham as letterer. We got a whole bunch of variants on here, but Philip Tan and Sebastian Chang did this cover for cover A, which you'll see as I put it up there. Yeah, we don't need to cover all the editors and all the variant cover artists. But Madripoor Nights, I really enjoyed. I know that it's not like anything that's like moving the universe, really. It's filling in the blanks, little gaps in Claremont's run. If you wonder, I don't quite know why they haven't let him do anything more recent. Everything has been in flashbacks, like even the like filling in the gaps, I mean, or flashbacks, however you want to put it. Like he did that Gambit book that I really liked, taking place when he was with Storm when she was a kid, like got transformed into a kid through the whole Siege Perilous thing, where we first were introduced to Gambit. And that's great. I if they're gonna still keep him on at Marvel, at least he's telling stories from that era. Is he making them up as he goes? Like if they say, hey, what have you thought about anything, or were these ideas that he has had for a while? I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him sometime if I see him again at a con or something. But like I said, I really enjoyed Madripoor Nights, even though, look, it's just, if you liked Uncanny X-Men number 268, said that all confusing. It's one of my favorite issues. I just can't remember what the issue is. Hey, what do you know? I pressed pause. Thanks for StreamYard for the pause button. I pressed pause and I got it right. It was 268, so I should be proud of myself. But like I said, okay, we're gonna talk about this, but this whole series starts. I wasn't sure what was going. I was like, why are we just telling another, like, it felt like we were just being dropped into another Sabretooth and Wolverine fight. And don't get me wrong, they're always great, but this just kind of felt like the way it was being presented, I was like, this is the past. Sounds kind of like we're just covering old ground. What's so special about it? And that was my initial thought, like, where are we going with this? And I don't know. I don't know what my problem was that day that I read it. Maybe I was in a bad mood. But the second time of reading this, and again, I don't expect this book to be some kind of earth-shattering thing that, like, goes, "Oh my god, like, this is gonna change everything in the future someday," like, all of a sudden they'll bring this up and it'll be, "Whoa." But really, it's, again, just filling in the gaps. And in this time, instead of being, well, let's see, Madripoor Nights was in that weird gap of time when Wolverine was Patch. And this is taking place after Dallas, back in the 80s with Claremont's run. After they faked their own, well, they the whole world thinks the X-Men are dead. And they're just getting, like, to the outback, and Wolverine's just starting to do some of his kind of things that he'd be doing in his solo book. And since the X-Men are supposed to be dead, and it's Wolverine's birthday in this book, or where we're at the beginning of this book, he's fighting Sabretooth, who's trying to kill Yuriko, Wolverine's, next love. Sabretooth kills everybody so that Wolverine loves, and, like, so what's it, Silver Fox? Yeah. And now he's going after her, Yuriko. Or Miriko. God damn it. Yeah, Miriko. And since the X-Men are supposed to be dead, nobody can know that he's there. So he's meeting him in the woods, having this fight. Meanwhile, you've got Kitty Pryde, Lockheed, and Yukio already set outside of the, like, guarding Mariko, because they think Wolverine's dead, but that Sabretooth will still come to kill her, which they were right to do. For the most part, this is just a pretty brutal fight between Sabretooth and Wolverine, mixed with, like, a lot of narration of Wolverine's past, with Sabretooth thinking about how, like, this could be the time, like, like, we keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and he keeps killing people that I care about. Maybe this is the time, that I actually can figure out how to kill him. And it's a pretty brutal fight. And where we end up, where we're dealing with Mr. Sinister, that's where I'm like, okay, this is just the stepping stone to the next 3 issues. And with the flashback that they also have for the Outback with Wolverine and Storm, him talking about how he's got things he's got to take care of that he can't really talk about, the usual rigmarole of Wolverine, like, going off on his own, being offered help, but knowing that he's probably not going to call. But who knows? Like, I don't know where this story at all is going to lead, because we're dealing with Sabretooth, we're dealing with the Marauders, we're dealing with Sinister. And if they're supposed to be dead and Wolverine's about to go up against Sinister, like, I want to actually, to me, see how Claremont writes this story so that it's still believable, that nobody knows what's going on with the X-Men in this storyline. Like, to create any, plot problems with that era's books. But I'm pretty sure that we're in safe hands here with Claremont, who I do really like the writing in this. Again, the first time I read this, I guess I was in a shitty mood, but, like, the stuff that happens in this, I mean, again, this is a really brutal throwdown between Wolverine and Sabretooth. And so, without further ado, we might as well just get right to it and show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, it's time to read Wolverine Deep Cut #1. Northern Japan, within hunting distance of Yoshida stronghold, ancestral home of Clan Yoshida. Folks call me the Wolverine. They say I'm the best there is at what I do. Deep Cuts by Chris Claremont, Edgar Salazar, and Carlos Lopez. I just love when they start off a Wolverine book. I know it's been done like to death, or it should have been done to death, and maybe it's been done to death to you, but it's not been done to death with me, which is a page where Wolverine is jumping out, claws open, saying, "I'm the best there is at what I do." This guy says different. He calls himself Sabretooth. Man considers himself the ultimate predator. To him, everyone else is just prey, especially me. In his eyes, I'm no more than a runt. I'm also the only one he's never been able to end. He's been trying since we met. And see, this was kind of where I was going, okay, we're just going over, their history. What are we doing here, you know? Just to make a point, he slaughtered Silver Fox, the woman I loved, which has pretty much defined our relationship ever since. Well, this is a surprise. You're supposed to be dead, Shorty. That's what I saw on a TV. You and the X-Men saving the world just like always, only this time it got you all killed. Ain't you the sneaky bunch? He either goes for me or someone I care for. It's why for most of my life I preferred to walk solo. But things change. I fell for Mariko Yoshida. So now he's come for her. I mean to stop him. Question is, how? And yes, the events that Sabretooth are talking about goes all the way back to Uncanny X-Men number 227, a long-ass time ago. And there's the whole page. Again, classic Wolverine Sabretooth stuff, but I was still saying to myself, like, okay, we're being dropped right into this. And it took me a while, like I explained earlier, where this takes place, but it was a little bit like just going, okay, here we go again, you know? But I do like where this goes. One more thing, I'm a mutant. For anybody who's never read a book before of X-Men or Wolverine. With the power to heal any wound in my body. Pretty much makes me impossible to kill. I like, though, that he slashes him right in the face and we see page to page, frame to frame, him, like, healing already. Problem is, Sabretooth has the same ability. Wasn't sure he'd come after Miko. Also love that it's showing his old style of costume, his original, like, kind of costume of Sabretooth's. Wasn't about to take any chances. World thinks I'm dead. Dug out the old long johns for this caper. How's that for a ghost? Nice try, runt. Crying shame I got claws on my feet as well as my hands. My hope is that now that Sabretooth knows I'm alive, he'll leave Miko alone. And come after me. That can cut through pretty near everything. Ain't near as fancy as your adamantium blades, I'll grant you that. Just like always. Unless this time. Gotta say, for someone as small as you, little fella, you sure do weigh a ton. I find a way. Good thing I'm strong enough to handle it. To kill him. Don't you think? Slammo! So, I mean, they're just whooping each other to death. Again, these fights can go on forever with these guys because they can just keep taking the punishment. And it's been done to death. And it's kind of why I'm like, okay, book, okay. Mook talks too much. My weight comes from the adamantium laced around my bones. Makes them unbreakable and heavy, which can slow you down. But I learned how to cope a long time ago. So, I mean, I really do like all of this stuff. He looks great. Sabretooth looks great. Trouble is, slash. I love that. So did Sabes. I almost said it like he has a disease called Sabes. Oh, shit. Throat cut. Well, this is where I have a little bit of problem, just a little bit with the artwork, because it just looks so good with the costumes on, and Sabretooth looks great even without a mask. Days ago, the Australian outback. So like I said, this takes place right now as their headquarters at this time period when they were trying to lay low. An abandoned mining town in the middle of nowhere that now serves as the X-Men's home and headquarters. Really interesting time too in Claremont's run. Because here we got Longshot and the Reavers and all that stuff. Something's come up, boss. I gotta go. If we can help, my friend. Appreciate the offer, Aurora, but this is private business. You need never go alone, Logan, or stand alone. I know. But by the same token, my life's bound by obligations freely given. Giri, the Japanese call it. Duty. Being an X-Man taught me that. See, that's where, okay, right here is where I have a little bit of trouble, is just in the face. Just in the face. I don't know. There's just something. I mean, I know that, like, technically he's not the best looking guy in the world or anything, but this is just where I've always had a little, I don't know. Maybe I think it's just a personal thing with me where I'm just like, you know, you get a little weird about just how somebody, like, a character looks. Before, I wouldn't have cared one way or the other. I lived for myself. That's changed. Wolverine may be a certifiable crazy, but he's also a man, and I like to talk in third person. Who stands by his word? Or is it first person? I don't know. I understand. How long will you be gone? Expect me when I'm back. And that will be when the job's done. You figure I need your help, Ro? Snicked. I'm speaking in weird kind of hypothetical. Like, he's being really cryptic here, though. It's like, expect me when I'm back, when the job's done. Like, come on. The platitudes. Always with the platitudes. Prove it. And look at that. She's out of the way. Oh my gosh. It's almost as if Storm is trained. Bang. You are dead. I win. Again. Are you certain you cannot use help? If I do, I'll call. No, you will not. Stay safe, my dearest friend. Always, darling. Guess she was right. I know what you're thinking, short stuff. Bet you're telling yourself you can still win. Sure don't look like it from where I stand. Adamantium won't help against an adversary who knows just where to cut you. Hit me all you want. Won't change a thing. Wanna bet? He's beaten me so many times. Figures this one'll be no different. All I have to do. I so love a man who's predictable. Is hold on till the end. You want to gut me with your claws, punk boy? Be my guest. I mean, look at that. He's just like, do it. Won't end me more than mine. Won't end me any more than mine'll end you. At least that's what you hope. Whoops! Can't pull loose. Looks like we're trapped. But what the hey, it'll only be for a moment. Am I right? Before one or the other of us gets free. Peers, that would be me. Guess what happens next? Yashida Stronghold, ancestral fortress of Clan Yashida. Guarded tonight by a thief, Yukio, a dragon, Lockheed, and a mutant who is like a daughter to Logan, Kitty Pryde, perhaps better known to the world as Shadowcat. Did you hear the noise in the woods? Yep. Shouldn't we check it out? Nope. This is Logan's birthday. Every year on this day, he and Sabretooth fight to the death. It stands to reason that someone like Sabretooth hates him even more. I like that. That someone else got to do what he never could. So he'll get even by going after the woman Logan loves instead. Now that Logan and the X-Men are actually dead, we're the only ones who are left to protect her. And you're sure of this how? It's what I'd do in his place. So far as Kitty and the world still knows, so they're reminding us once again in this issue that the X-Men are dead. This is also good because this takes us back, like this is Shadowcat's, like there's Kitty Pryde, Kate Pryde. I think she even went by Sprite. I think that's her, right? But back in the day also there was a book called, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, where she becomes this ninja, where Wolverine teaches her how to be a ninja, and they speak to it in this, and it's like something that came up near the end of the Krakoan saga, her tapping into that. It's come and gone over the years, of course, depending on who's writing, what the story is doing, where the story's going. But this is an interesting time. I like this version of Kate Pryde, Kitty Pryde, whoever you want to call her. Our job, you and me and Lockheed, is to protect Mariko and make sure Sabretooth fails. Just the three of us. Yep. Gotta say, Pride, the more I see of you, the more you remind me of him. Won't argue with that, Yukio. To save my soul, he trained me to be a warrior. Trained you in this very castle. I was here, remember? None of us felt good about that. In the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine limited series from 1984, folks. That means that that Kitty Pryde and Wolverine's a 40-year-old story. Holy shit. More than that now. 40 years old. Jesus. But it had to be done. I know. The both of you shaped me into the person I am today. The warrior? I said it like a question. When Sabretooth shows, I'll give you and Mariko the best chance I can to get away. Hope you're wrong. You really think you're a match for him? Tonight, Yukio, may be the night we find out. My eyes are gone. Sabretooth tore out my eyes. Hope that hurts, Skunky. That is a really cool visual, by the way. It's horrifying, but it's awesome. That is really good. Man, I love that. That is just wow. So like I said, this fight at least goes there. And this is really kind of the setup book for the whole series. So it's like, I'm glad that it's just this big fight going on and it's kind of focused, as then it then sets out for larger things for the next issue. But no worries, the agony won't last long. True that. But not for the reason he thinks. And just like any good wrestling match, the hero appearing to be weakened by what the villain thinks is a crippling move, finds out I fought blind before. So he's bobbing, weaving, dodging his moves, knows where he is. Putting him down. And always won. Snicked! My power isn't healing. My whole body, every sense I possess, works at peak capacity. Take away one, the others compensate. And now Sabretooth doesn't realize that move has pushed me past rage. Everything's fueled by a ferocity that none of my friends can even imagine. Except pride. She carries that part of me now in her own soul. Thanks again to the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine series, which you should all go and chat and read. Bet you'll really, really like it. That's a regret I'll carry to the end. So he's not happy that he did that to her. Like, because Kitty Pryde was Kitty Pryde. She was the kid. Like, she was the new X-Man, the fresh under the, green behind the ears. And she was literally a kid, and after everything because she's been through a lot. And I don't think Kitty Pryde gets really still enough credit in this world as such a good developed character over the last 40-ish years. How much she's changed, or the stories that have allowed her to change. I know that everything goes back and forth with comics, but I really like these relationships that are all like everybody that Wolverine has relationships with have like this unique kind of take. Everything is unique in their relationship and why it works or doesn't work. Meantime, I'll take it out on Sabretooth. Again, great. Like Edgar really draws him great in costume, man. He thought this fight would go easy for him. There he's taking off. Like, oh shit. Always has before. Look at him. He's just like, these are the moments like when Sabretooth realizes like he's it's almost like he needs to get to this point where he pokes the bear and pokes the bear. He's like, keeps going, you're nothing. And suddenly this guy just snaps and like can kick his ass. But time passes. Things change. My cue to make things worse. That's just the beginning. From there, everything goes downhill for him. Snicked. Right into his fucking chest. So quickly. Down he goes. Holds his hair like that. Look at his face. Just like, oh, shit. Before he even truly knows what's happening. The fight's over. He's lost. Slash. One good slash deserves another. That was. And we see he's dead. He's cut his fucking head off. A pleasure. Something I've wanted. A debt that's been owed for a very long time. And that's Silver Fox there. As way back in the day. Problem is, it's a lie. I've fought Sabretooth more often than I can remember. In all that time, I've tied, maybe, but never won. This mook is a good copy, but that's all. Blood doesn't taste quite right. Close enough to fool pretty much everybody living or tech, human or mutant. Only one answer, this Sabretooth's a clone. And guess where clones come from? So I love all of this, right? Because he's like talking about like how this has always been a pleasure. Like we've seen him fight before, and then all of a sudden in this story, there's his head. He cut his head off. He's dead. And it was a proper fight. It wasn't some like boop, 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 done. And very anticlimactic. No, this is a this is a no holds barred fight to the death, and Sabretooth is dead in this issue. But I love it. He's like, but it's also just so messed up because it's like he realizes it's too easy. And the fact that he knows what the taste of his blood is freaky. Not just because, like, yeah, part of his powers are natural and, and animalistic. But it's just all of that. And then knowing all of a sudden he's a clone, he is not who he says he is. And where do clones come from? All right, sorry, folks. I had to pause it for a second to somebody actually came home, and so I had to stop it for a second. And then I wasn't quite sure if the book was leaving me off where I was supposed to leave off. But anyway, I'll shut up and keep going because we're almost done. Thanks for looking out for Miko, ladies. Another one I owe you. My turn now to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. I'd love to let you know we're all okay, but that's Rose's call, not mine. This is my fight, not yours. As far as the world's concerned, we X-Men are better off dead, at least till the time is right. And your family, which means I won't put you or Yukio or Muriko in more danger. End of story. Time for me to move on. So he's aware of what's going on there. He knows Kitty and Lockheed and Yukio are there to protect everything. And he's doing his whole usual Wolverine, spiel of this stoic man that goes off and does the right thing. Well, everybody, stands up for him and all this shit, no matter how awful some of the things he's done over the years. But, he's saying, I got to get out of here. I got to get away from you guys because me being alive right now and you knowing it puts you in danger, other people I know in danger, blah, blah, blah. Besides, this can't wait. Let it go too long already. Real Sabretooth's a prideful man. He wouldn't let a fake take his place, especially today, which means someone likely took him off the board, and I can guess who. Every culture has its boogeyman, their monster in the dark. For me, it's Sabretooth, the real Sabretooth. For mutants, it's Sinister. People for you are nothing but toys, Sinister. To get what you want, you don't care who you hurt. The Marauders we've always fought are nothing but your clones of the originals. Same as Madeline Pryor turned out to be your clone of Jean Grey. You've done everything you could to hurt us. And laughed as you got away clean. Those days are done. I'm coming for you, bub. This is the fight that truly matters. And there's only one way it's gonna end. Next, Marauders. And he's going after Mr. Sinister alone. Now, I can only guess as to how well that's all going to go for him. As far as this is going to be another big fight because Sinister, I mean, let's face it, right? I want to see how Claremont writes this because we all know Sinister's still around. And in my opinion, Sinister is one of my favorite villains of all time. And so I want to see how Chris writes a Wolverine story like this. And will Sabretooth, the real Sabretooth, will he be showing up for the end fireworks? So thanks for watching. Again, if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like to just read comics, hit like and subscribe for any reason at all. Hit like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Just kidding. Just hit the button if you want and all that jazz. Bye. See you on the next video, bubs. Ba 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 bum. Ba bum 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 bum.